What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So we got a little box in the mail over here. Let's open it up, see what we got. We picked up a stage 2 cam and a set of these black nitride lifters for the truck. So I don't know if you guys have noticed at all, when I first start the truck, I get a little bit of clanking around, and I'm pretty 99% sure it's my lifters. It did it before the rebuild and it still does it after, and that is the only thing I haven't touched in that motor. So I picked up a stage 2 cam from Frank's TDI and these lifters. So we're gonna throw it in the truck. Hopefully that quiets it down, and this cam is gonna give me a little more horsepower, and it should lower the EGTs quite a bit. He said like 200 degrees, so we'll see if that happens. What I wanna do before I put this cam in, bring you guys for a drive, and we'll kinda look at the EGTs and see what they're at right now, and then we'll throw the cam in and compare it. I'd really like to compare the power differences, but I mean, even on camera you're probably not going to notice it, and right now I'm still trying to break it in, so I'm not hot rodding it. So let's go for a drive, see what our EGTs are at right now, and then we'll swap the cam in and see how much difference there really is. Guys, we're cruising 4th gear, 35. We're about 700 degrees on the EGT, so I'll come back to the same exact stretch of road when we get the cam in, and we'll test it under the same mile an hour, same gear, same road, and see if there's any difference. Another quick test we can do is just kind of a normal acceleration. So starting first here. All right, boys, let's throw this cam in. So pretty easy, honestly, on these motors. Very simple. Just pull the timing cover. We'll pull the vacuum pump off the back, pull the valve cover, and then all we really have to do is pop the cam gear off for the timing belt. We'll have to loosen that tensioner up, pull that cam gear off, and then just pull the caps on the cam, and the cam is out. All right, we got the valve cover off. I cranked it over, or turned the motor over to top dead center so the mark on the harmonic balancer lines up. The number 1 lobes here are pointed up. They're not compressing the valve. You want to make sure that the notch in the back of that cam is horizontal with the head surface. And then what we're going to do is pin the injection pump so it stays in time. We'll loosen the tensioner, the timing belt tensioner, and then we will pop this gear off. The easiest way to do that is loosen the bolt just a little bit so you get, you know, 1/4 inch or 1/8 inch of gap in between the washer and that gear. And then this one already has the hole drilled, but you drill a hole in the back of this cover, take a punch through it, and just tap that gear off. It's just a tapered fit onto that cam. So you pop that gear off, and then we can pull the belt, just pull it off to the side. Obviously you don't need to pull it all the way off, and then we'll loosen up our caps for the cam, and our cam is out. Alright guys, there's the old cam and lifters, and here is the new setup. So like I said, this is a stage 2 from Frank's TDI, and then these are the black nitride lifters. Little bit of an upgrade, and hopefully they are a little quieter than those crappy stock ones with 260,000 miles on them, I think. So should quiet it down and make it run a lot smoother. And then we also got a new cam seal. So let's go throw this thing in the truck. One other thing I was going to tell you guys, when you're doing even a cam, a lot of people use a assembly lube. I'm not going to. I feel like an assembly lube is more directed towards if you're putting a motor together and you're not going to start it right away. The assembly lube is thick enough to stay exactly where you put it, whereas oil would eventually run off and you would lose your lubrication. But this truck, I'm starting it right away. So what I'm going to do is just oil the cam. I'll throw it in the truck. I'll oil the lifters, even though they already are pretty soaked in oil. And then once I get it all together, I'll just douse it with oil. We'll put the valve cover on and we'll start it. So there's really not going to be any lack of lubrication on this. we got everything torqued down. So the cam sprocket is 33 foot-pounds, but I believe they revised it to 40 because they were having issues with the cam sprocket slipping out of time, and then it takes out your valve. So torque that to, I don't know, 40 foot-pounds should be good. Make sure you torque everything else, caps, the roller, tensioner, and the bolts on your injection pump sprocket. And now we can turn the motor over. I gave it about 2 revolutions just to make sure there's nothing binding, nothing hitting before you actually hit it with the starter and bend valves or whatever. So we're gonna do that, and then like I said, I'm gonna douse the cam with oil. We'll throw it all back together, get the vacuum pump, valve cover, everything on, and then we can fire it up and see how it runs with this new cam. All right guys, he's all back together. So one last thing I'm gonna do before I start it is disconnect the injection pump and pull my lift pump relay. And I'm gonna crank it, I don't know, 30 seconds. And then we'll connect it back and it should fire up. I just wanna make sure I get oil pumping to the top end before I actually start it. All right, cranked her over, pumped her up with oil. So now I'm just gonna start it, and I guess these cams don't need a whole lot of braking. I'm just gonna do like 20 minutes at 2,000 RPM, and then we'll just take it easy. I still got the brake and oil in the motor. I'm giving that 500 miles, so I've got about 100 miles on it. So we're gonna go the rest of the 400 miles. That'll help brake in the cam a little bit, and then we'll switch over to our regular synthetic oil. All right guys, we got our 20 minutes in, so I got to adjust the pump timing. If you guys have watched me, you know exactly how to do it. I've shown you a few times, so it's a little retarded. I'm going to advance it just a little bit, get it back up to like 62. Guys, same stretch of road. We are same mile an hour and it's a little cooler. All right, now we'll do that little just like normal acceleration, see if that changes anything. There we go guys, so EGTs maybe changed, maybe lowered a little bit, nothing spectacular. It does seem to run a lot smoother and quieter, so that is a plus. That probably is mostly due to the lifters. I know the old ones were pretty worn out, they had a lot of miles on them, so in that regard, definitely smoother, quieter. EGTs, I haven't gone, you know, full pin, so it'll probably help out there. I think that's where you see the most gain. And then also power wise, like I said, I'm still breaking this thing in, so I'm not hot rodding it. So when I get it all broke in, we'll take it out again and kind of compare. We'll do some full throttle runs and see kind of how it compares. I mean, I kind of remember how it was before, so we can kind of go from that. So all in all, the cam definitely is gonna help. It's probably not the biggest mod, you know, for power wise. Obviously you got to do your turbo, your injectors, all that good stuff to get your power, but the cam definitely should help out a little bit at least. So I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.